This is Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, host of Python's Paradise. I am also a co-producer on 13 Fanboy, which I barely could see on this camera, but here we are. The old school shirt that still had Tom Matthews on it.
Mine does
And,
too.
yeah. Well, when I went to Horrorama outside Kane Hodder, he got the most views questions on that shirt. And I was like, Debbie Sue, can you get him back? But nonetheless, before I get too ahead of myself, gotta introduce my guest. Folks, I had Noellie Berger on last year, and I'm currently trying to get her rescheduled back on here for a second. But I understand there was what you called on 13 Fanboy, the Three Amigos. And I heard about all their crimes on the set of that movie from Noellie. And now we're going to hear the next set of crimes on the set of that movie. Folks, I give you the wonderfully awesome Kristi Fontenot. I got that right.
Fontenot.
Fontenot. There we
That's
go. Kristi Fontenot. I got right the first time and then screwed it up whenever.
Believe me, I've heard all sorts of phrases of how it's said. So believe me, that is you actually were closer than most people are, for real.
Oh, I call Noellie Spicy Burger. I used to call her Hamburger, but she said, nah, Spicy Burger.
Well, that probably describes her pretty well.
Well, between 13 Fanboy, Victim No More, Z Dead End, Social Distance, we're involved in all of those, and she and I never ever met. I never even went to any of the sets of these movies because some of them haven't even been shot yet. But
Right.
yeah. But before I get talking about 13 Fanboy, give us a little bit of your background.
Well, I was born and raised in Louisiana, North Louisiana. As soon as I say that, usually most people automatically assume New Orleans, but I'm actually closer to Arkansas than I am to New Orleans. Um, I'm married for almost 21 years. I have 3 children, a 19-year-old son and 15-year-old twin girls. And I've been watching horror since I was a child. I think my very first movie was Halloween.
Love it.
And I've been hooked ever since. And believe me, anytime I go searching on TV for something to watch, I look in the horror section before I look in any other section. And I will rewatch every Friday the 13th movie multiple times. And I've probably seen Crystal Lake Memories, I could probably say at least 50 times. Because I just love to sit around and watch that. And I like that as my background.
You
And I
got
have that
that?
Oh yes. I got it in that section when they were giving out the poster.
So same here. Yep.
Yes. When they said they were going to do it for the first however many people, I was in that group.
That's right.
But I haven't got mine set up yet. It's still in its little bundle because I don't have the perfect place for it yet. But I'm hoping to be moving in the next 6 months, and I'm going to set aside a whole section of a room strictly for my horror stuff. And it's going to be displayed. I'm going to have everything put up, all of that. It's going to be set up. I just am too small of a house right now to set up how I want it.
Are you moving in with Noellie and Lisa?
We've thought about it, but Noellie lives way too far away from me. She's all the way on the other side of the country for me. Lisa's actually closest to me because she's just one state away compared to Noellie. Because Lisa's in Texas, so she's in the same time zone as me too.
Oh, gee, she's in the same areas as Sandy Johnson and Laura Park Lincoln.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in South Texas.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had Sandy Johnson on here before, and I'm
she's awesome. I'm friends with her on Facebook as well. She's super awesome.
I'm set to have her on again too, so so looking forward to that.
Oh, I can't wait. I love her. She is so sweet.
Yep. Well, 13 Fanboy, of course. I'm a co-producer on that. I'll tell you how I got involved with that movie. Is that I've had Debbie Sue Voorhees on my show 4 times. And I think it was the third time she was on, she mentioned this project. And at the time, I wasn't thinking anything about becoming part of it, but she brought out the heavy guns. She mentioned Tracy Savage, and I was like, oh, my money's spent. Because I had a big crush on Tracy Savage growing up. I've had Tracy on my show twice. And Tracy
I
said
haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet.
she told me I make her feel good. And believe me, I've said every uh, luscious compliment I could to her. I told her, I said, as far as Friday the 13th Part 3 goes, she's the only thing I want to see in 3D.
Right.
And she loved that. She loved that. You
That's
know?
too funny.
Oh yeah. So the moment her name was thrown out to me, I was like, okay,
You're like, take my money.
I guess I'm involved. My in my picture apparently there's gonna be in a scene with her. And
Oh, that's great. You got that perk, huh?
I did well when I found out I could get in a scene with her, I was like nothing makes my face look better than being in the same scene with a gorgeous woman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got that perk, and you're one of I think 15 or 16 people from that movie I've interviewed. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I got the.
I'm looking forward to it so much. I just hate that because of the pandemic that it got delayed, but I understand why. But it's still, we were so looking forward to it to come out around Halloween and that general time frame, and I
I
was so
wish
looking forward to it.
I wish this pandemic would piss off and go away.
Me too. Believe me, me
Oh,
too.
jeepers.
Yes, as a nurse, I definitely am ready for this to go away.
So did you and Noellie like use Lisa Perez as your test victim as a nurse? You like play like a game of operation with her, get her to lay down and see if her nose lights up when you hit the.
Oh, well, no, we didn't. But it was just amazing how we had never met before except for on Messenger and
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And when we met each other, you would have thought that we had known each other our entire lives. We got along so well. It was like, I mean, we basically became some of the best friends in within 5 minutes of meeting each other. And I mean, it
Yeah.
was just like everything that we all had the same ideas, the same likes and dislikes, and we know that Lisa loves her tacos, and she wanted to go get her tacos, so we did it. We did eat at a Mexican joint in New Mexico
Mm-hmm.
while we were there, of course, so Lisa could get her tacos. But we had the best time together and met so many wonderful people. I mean, that was the first time I've ever visited a movie set as well. And that was just the most awesome experience. And Deborah's just, she's an amazing director. She's got so much patience, and just, she was not cruel to anyone. She was just a true professional. You just watch her work was just amazing.
Well, you know what? It's funny because the perk I got for a co-producer, it said I could have a day on set, but the thing is, I
You're a
was not.
candidate.
Yeah, I was no position to get there. But you know
Mhm.
what's amazing though? I've had this conversation with Jason Bradford and with Troy Elke and with Chris Norris. I said I still felt like I was part of it, even though I wasn't on set.
Right.
I
Yeah,
still, yeah,
just through the pictures. I mean, even when the parts of the time that I wasn't there, like when Jason was there, because I didn't get to meet Jason because he went in July and
uh-huh.
I went in January. So it was like we didn't get to go at the same time either. But just looking at all their pictures, I felt like, oh, I remember that area, or, but it was cool that they got to see, like that little section had certain actors, from the series there. And then when I went in January, it was a totally different set of actors. So I got to meet certain ones that he didn't get to meet, and he got to meet ones that I didn't. And,
Mm-hmm.
it was so cool though, that but I met some great people, and Dee Wallace is awesome.
I met Dee Wall. I've interviewed Dee Wallace back in 2015, and I met her at Horrorama 2018. She still remembered me.
Really?
Yep,
She is
yep,
so cool.
yep.
And
So
she
I
was
have
such,
met her. Yep.
yes, I mean, when I went, it was CJ
Mm-hmm.
and Judy, Ron and Carol, Dee. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. And then of course the all of us from the group, like Lisa, Noellie, David, and Nancy Miller,
Uh-huh.
um, Brad Robinson, oh gosh, Tony, um, oh my gosh, who all, I feel like now that I'm sitting here talking about it, my brain's gonna blank out on everybody that was there.
Well, you know what? You gave a little bit of your background on horror movies. I gotta give you a little bit of mine because you see, growing up, I was petrified of horror movies. Now I'm 48, going on 49 this year. But I remember when I was young, I had an uncle that owned a video store, and
Used to work at one.
yeah, well, my uncle used to have one, and I got baited by my cousins into
Mhm.
watching Friday the 13th Part 2. And it scared the shit out of me at that time. Now I have it a Blu-ray, and I've interviewed three people from it, but it's funny because at the time there was like three murders that happened, but the moment Kirsten Baker strips down naked and goes in the lake, that's where my mom comes in and turns the television off. And the reason I mention that, and I've said this before many times on this podcast, it's the first time I recall seeing a naked woman was Kirsten Baker in Friday the 13th Part 2. That was when and I was a young teen at that time. I wasn't interested in girls, I was into whatever was on, or Dukes of Hazzard or whatever, guy things.
But
But
have you gotten to interview her now?
I would like to. I interviewed Russell Todd,
Mhm.
and he was the guy hanging upside down in the trap, and he said that she would probably love that story.
I
'Cause
bet.
apparently that wasn't even a closed set. She just did it.
Really?
Yeah, I guess she was just comfortable. A real trooper, so.
She was cute as a button, so I probably would be too if I looked like that.
But in 2017, I lived here my whole life. In 2017, I was invited to my first con by Lisa Langlois from class of 1984.
Mhm.
And so my first con was sitting at a table assisting one of my guests, which was pretty cool. And I got the convention bug. It was cool. Have you done the conventions before?
I went to Texas Frightmare a couple years ago, and actually, Lisa and I and Tony are going to Days of the Dead in a few weeks.
Why not
And
Noellie? Why are you leaving her out?
it's in Atlanta. I'm not sure if she'd be able to go or not.
Okay, rules are rules. You have to both dress up like Noellie.
I don't know if I can fit in those dresses and not show my fat shoulders. She wears her little dresses, and they're also cute on her, and they would not look the same on me.
Don't run yourself down like that. Don't run yourself down
No,
like that.
Noelle's precious. I love her.
Yeah, but talk about some of the people you've met at the cons. What was your first autograph?
My very first autograph actually was from Walker Stalker Con
Uh-huh.
um, in Atlanta. And that was, gosh, well, actually, I take that back. I met Tom Paine and David Morrissey from The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Jesus and the Governor. That was
Hmm.
the two. I didn't actually get any autographs though because I paid so much for the photo ops that I kind of ran out of money. Um, but that was my very first con experience to go, and so then I was like, well, I'm gonna try a different one. So I went to Texas Frightmare, and I only got 2 autographs that day, and that was of CJ and Kane.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, they were both awesome. CJ was just a sweetheart. I mean, he was the first thing he did was give a hug. He said, "Thank you for being a fan," and it was just everybody was so lined up for Kane. It took forever. Matter of fact, I was able. We were like taking turns going to different lines, and somebody was holding our spot in Kane's line because his was so long that we were able to get somebody to hold our spot. We'd go over to CJ's and get his autograph, come back, get in Kane's line again, and so I really only got those two that time, but just the experience of being there was just awesome. Seeing, I think some people that were there from I actually had a bunch of the Friday the 13th people there, but I didn't get to go up and really meet any of them. But I think they did the big group photo op with all of them dressed up as Jason.
My
Because I
favorite
want to say
Jason is
Ted Ted White.
Ted White's my favorite Jason. I've had him on here twice, and
Mhm.
he sent me a signed hockey mask.
Cool.
Yeah, he to me was the most intense Jason was in the final chapter, and I love the fact that he got to
Mhm.
run after his victims because
To
I
me, the
got
running makes them more scary.
well, you know what?
See?
Somebody I don't know whether it was Joe Zito didn't want him to run, and then Frank Mancuso I think said that's a great idea because of course he's running because he wants to catch her. That's the motivation. And
Mhm.
him being like scant inches behind Kimberly Beck, you can kind of feel that. I love Ted White. So he's 95 years old this year.
I saw
And
he just had a birthday recently.
yep. Well, he was pretty
Yeah.
chipper whenever I've had him on twice. And the stories he shares about the people he's done stunt works with,
Mhm.
like he's done stunts for John Wayne, Clark Gable. He knew Marilyn Monroe before she was Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. They had I think they had almost all the Jasons there at Texas Frightmare that year. Um and they were doing the big group photo op with all of them. I think it was Ted White, Steve Dash, um oh gosh, Tom Morga
hmm
and Kane and CJ, and they were all in costume, but that picture was like $400 and I would have killed to been able to do that. But at the time I just could not swing that extra, and I wish I had because now I can't get one with Steve Dash now. um but back then, I didn't think that there was going to be a chance that I wouldn't be able to ever meet Steve Dash. I always thought
Yeah.
that at some other con I'd be able to get the next few, or something like that.
My
But
advice is always take it when you can because
yeah,
I got Dick Miller on here 5 months before he passed away.
you've
He,
had quite a few here recently that you've posted about that you said that you had interviewed and they had passed recently.
yep. Peter Mark Richmond I had on twice, and to me, Jason Takes Manhattan, regardless how bad it is, Peter Mark Richmond I think is great through the whole thing as the professor.
He's always been a great actor anyway.
Yep. I had
It
him
probably
on.
wasn't his most favorite role, but
You know what? He said great things about working on the film. I mean, he said he did it for money, but he had
yeah.
no qualms with anybody. He said great things about Kane and everybody on there. So
Kane is just very imposing when you see. I can imagine how he is in costume. Just that, I don't know. I mean, I got a soft spot for CJ though. He is just awesome. We were, I don't even know I'm really supposed to talk about it, but we were on set,
hmm
and they called quiet on the set in
hmm
one room, but we were all in another room, and CJ was in there with all of us, me, Noellie, Lisa,
Uh-oh.
David, Nancy, all of us. And in that room that we were in, there was one of those little dinner bells that you
Huh?
hanging from the ceiling or hanging from the doorway. And it's one of those that has a little metal ball on it that you can shake the rope and it rings. And Deborah had just called quiet on the set, and we were all standing there, and CJ's like, if you have $5, I'll ring this bell. And we were all like, no, no, we're not going to take the blame for that one. She had just called quiet. He's like, I'll ring this bell for $5. I was like, no, don't do it. We don't want her coming around the corner and fussing at us because we done, made a bunch of noise in here while they're in there trying to film.
That is funny.
Lordy. But everybody was just fantastic, though. I mean, it was just such an awesome experience. And New Mexico is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, it is so beautiful. There, they have that big ski. It's called Ski Apache. A little ways from Ruidoso that you can just see it in the distance. The big mountains and stuff with the snow on it and everything, and it's just so beautiful. And then elk just walk around like.
It's funny you say
No
that
big
because I
deal.
just had Joel Paul Rising on here at the end
Mhm.
of January, and he said that he witnessed elk walking down the sidewalk and they would pause before crossing the street.
They just walked around like, it was no big deal. You know, yeah, I live in the South. I live in Louisiana where there's
Hmm.
nothing but big game hunters, and them poor elk wouldn't stand a chance here. But they just walked around like, they were just part of everything, and it was so cool to see that, and you'd see a whole little group of them heading across a parking lot at Walmart or something, like it was no big deal. It was so fun though. But I mean, just hanging out with them, everybody was so professional. There was not any trouble whatsoever. I became actually the second when I got there. We went to the set the first day. Well, we weren't filming that day. At least we weren't. We were getting a scene set up, and then she ended up putting me in charge of getting that scene set up. And then I ended up being the next day the runner to go running all over town and picking up stuff that they had to have for the scene to be filmed. And I'm not even from New Mexico or Ruidoso for that matter. So I had to utilize my GPS all over town because I didn't even know where to go. They're like, oh, we'll turn by the Walgreens. Well, I saw no Walgreens. I still never found the Walgreens. But they would tell me to turn there. You need to go there to go to this store. And I'm like, I don't even know where it is. But I found everything that they needed. I went all over town, and goodness, I'd hate to know them roads got slick because there's some steep, mountainy roads that you had to go around to. And I'm my little, we don't get snow and ice very often here, so that
We
whole
do
thing, I'm
here.
like,
You can have it if you want it.
we're actually scheduled to get snow next week. We shall see, though. This is Louisiana. The weather changes every 30 minutes, so that could totally change. They may say we're getting snow next week. We might get sunshine, and who knows?
If I
It may be
remember,
80 degrees next week.
if I remember correctly, I think Noellie recalled the hotel that the three of you stayed in. Talk about that.
um, well, it was just we didn't stay at the cool hotel where all the actors were staying at, and I wish we had now because they all hung out in the hotel bar and stuff, and I'm like, well, we missed out on everything there. But
Why didn't you guys go there?
well, we did for a little while, but we weren't there. I guess we didn't realize that they were all going to be there at that time, and we all just, we finished filming that day, and we went back to the hotel. We all, I think, pretty much had headaches by the time we left there because we really didn't eat much, so they just wanted to go kind of chill out for a little bit. And we actually had Ken Slate. He actually stayed in the same hotel as us as
Uh-huh.
well. And that first night, I want to say that we all went, sat in the hot tub. Ken had all three of us in there in the hot tub. But no, we just hung out and talked about the filming and everything. And we had so much fun setting everything up. So it's going to be cool to see the things that we did on the screen. Um, and I'm actually a handler for one of the actors in the film as well.
Yeah,
We all three of us had a spot somewhere in the setup when they filmed. I think Lisa is like somebody coming to get an autograph, and me and Noellie are handlers.
Noellie,
Um,
I think, is Dee's handlers.
yes,
Whose
I'm
handler are
actually
you?
I'm actually Kelsey Voorhees's
Oh,
handler.
I've had Haley on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Haley's.
Yeah, I like Haley. I had her on here. Loved hearing some of the stories Jason Bradford told, especially being on the road with Jennifer Bonko.
Yes, I bet that was fun. I bet she's a hoot to be around.
Well, I guess her and her dad have a very humorous relationship with some of the stories that were told in the car.
He got to be the runner for just about all of them, didn't he? At some point to take them to the airports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And see, we
Oh,
flew into Roswell. A lot of
mm-hmm.
other ones flew into Albuquerque, but we flew in from Roswell because it was only an hour drive. We're like flying to Roswell for an hour, or fly to Albuquerque and drive 3 hours. We'll take the one that's an hour because after being on the flight for so long, and I had so much flight trouble. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I was ever going to even get there. We were supposed to get there around this. Well, actually, we were supposed to meet up in Dallas. All three of us. Our flights were going to have our layovers in Dallas, and then we were actually going to be on the same flight from Dallas to Roswell. All three of us were supposed to be on there together. Well, I get a call at like midnight the night before telling me my flight was canceled. And so I had to call around to the airlines, and they finally got me on another flight 90 miles away from here, from where I live at. And where I was going to be flying out of was only 10 minutes from here. So I had to get up in the middle of the night and drive all the way down to Alexandria, Louisiana, which is in the middle of the state, to catch my flight. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to park my car there and leave it. Of course, it delayed again when I got there. And then I missed my connecting flight in Dallas. So I actually watched Noellie and Lisa leave on the airline, on the tarmac. They were pulling out when I got to the window. And so I had to wait for another flight to Roswell to get there. So they had to wait for like a few hours for me. And then we get there, and the rental car, they gave it away um, because I wasn't there to get it because it was in my name.
Oh,
And so
wow.
we ended up having to find another place in town that actually came and picked us up and rented us a car, and we drove. The rest of the time it was fine until it was time to go home. And then they had me on a return flight to the airport here, not to where my car was. And um, so news to say that my husband and my son had to drive 90 miles to go get my car and come back up here and pick me up at the airport. It was horrible. I was like, I will never fly American Airlines again. Oh my gosh. I didn't think I was ever going to get there. And then I didn't think I was ever going to get home. I was so frustrated. I just wanted to cry. But at least I knew I had a good time in the middle of it.
Well, I
You
know
know?
the three of you had a good time.
Oh yes, we had a blast. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, absolute blast. We took turns sleeping in the same beds. We always joke around that we all slept with each other. Like one night I would be by myself and they would be together, and then the next night one of them would be with me, and then the other one would be by herself, and it was just like we all 3 nights we like switched out. So but we had such a fun time. We really did. And I mean the hotel wasn't too terribly bad. I had a pretty good breakfast though. I will give it that.
Okay.
Um, but I mean it really wasn't too terribly bad. It was actually a pretty decent room. We wanted to save on hotels because we knew we weren't going to be there that long anyway. We knew we'd be on the set pretty much most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to be, hotel poor, and not get to experience anything else. But we ended up going to the casino the night before we left and went up there. And I wasn't so lucky on mine, but I think Noellie did okay.
Okay.
Lisa kept it conservative, um, but I didn't lose a lot either. But once I started losing. I said, it's time to go. We're gonna have to leave. But it was just fun, just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And me and we went and ate dinner the last night with David and Nancy Miller.
Yeah, I've
Um,
had Dave on the show. Yep.
he's so cool. Him and
Mm-hmm.
Nancy are just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it's just I love everybody that I met. It's just it's just an experience that I hope I'll get to have again one day. I'm hoping Deborah will have another film one day, and I'll get back together again and do that because that was just so much fun. I hate I didn't get to meet Jason. I've always wanted to meet Jason, and And I hate you didn't get to come down because it'd been cool to meet you too. Um, I wish you could have been down there for that filming because we had such a ball. We really did. It
Are
was a
you
long
kid?
day though. It
If
was a
I had
long
a
day.
gone down there, I would have said, "Get me down there when Tracy Savage was there."
Yeah, I wasn't there in July.
Oh man.
I wasn't there when Corey was there. I wasn't there when Tracy and Kane and Jennifer and
Hmm.
there was somebody else that was during that time.
Lar
But
Park
I will tell
Lincoln.
you, yes, Laura
Yeah.
Park. Yes. Yes. And I tell you, two people that are so awesome to meet is Ron and Carol. Carol is so funny and she is just cute as can be. She really is. She's so little and petite and so darling. She really is. And she is so willing to take the pictures with her middle finger. She ain't got no problem with that.
Did she make you any stew?
She did not make any stew though. But she actually, her and Ron came and hung out with all of us while we were setting up. Because they were staying at the hotel that we were filming by, and so we're pretty much all of them were staying at. Was there at that hotel, and her and Ron came over and hung out with us, took pictures with all of us. They had no problems taking pictures with us at
No.
all. We were just so starstruck to even meet. You know, Deborah was the first one we met, of course, because she showed up right after we got there, and then Ron and Carol came in after that. And we really didn't start meeting everybody else until the next day when we actually got ready to start filming, and that's when we started meeting all the other actors that were there.
Did
Um,
De- did Debbie say? Did Debbie Sue stay off the Hubbard's yard?
she did. She was very well behaved. She was very well behaved. She is such a precious lady. She really is. And she is just so kind to everyone. And I've heard horror stories about different directors that are so hard to work for, that give everybody a hard time.
Hmm.
They just get too frustrated too easy. I don't think I ever see her lost her cool at all. She was just so calm and patient, and she'd be like, let's do this again, just as calm as can be. I mean, I've never experienced it before, but I'm so glad that, my first experience was like that. And like I said, I'd love to do it again for something like that. Even if I didn't have a speaking role, which was fine,
I'm
but
fine. I didn't have
I
one.
don't have to speak.
Yeah.
I just hope my little bitty part wasn't cut out because I done told all my local friends here too. So you're gonna have to watch for me on the big screen because it may not ever happen again, but you might see a glimpse, but I'm not gonna say nothing. But according to the script, I was actually supposed to say something, but she's like, "Oh, you don't have to say anything." I'm like, "Okay," because I looked and Kelsey's like, "Oh, you're supposed to say this," and I looked at that. I went, "I don't even remember what it said now." I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm supposed to speak." Nobody told me I was going to say anything.
Well,
But
I've had this conversation with Debbie Sue. Like, I know who the 13 fanboy is. It's those
mhm.
two dogs that she has. They're
Oh my
interchangeable
gosh.
as the fanboys. Those are the fanboys.
I have a picture with the little white one, the one that was on set for
Yeah.
the scenes. Yes, I have a picture with him. He's
Hmm.
precious. He was like one of the first. Actually, he was the first. Besides her, he was the second person I met. he
Dogs, not person.
came in with her, so I got to meet him at the same time, pretty much. So well behaved. I mean, didn't have he must be trained very well because he never gave any trouble. He stood right there. Everybody loved on him. I
I
don't
told
think
him,
everybody
I
loved
said,
on him.
I'm not, I see those dogs with all their tongues stuck out. What I was like, They don't have me fooled." Those are the fanboys.
Right. He was the true fanboy right there.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. But
He was.
so you an associate producer or a co-producer in the film?
Associate.
Associate. Okay. Okay. You know what I like though? Like I've interviewed some of the bigger names from this film,
Hmm.
but you know, it's amazing to me some of the other people I've come across on this film, like Noellie and yourself and Troy Elke and Jason Bradford and Chris Norris, and I could go on. And it's
Mhm.
like this interesting little community just formed. And I haven't even met you folks. And every time there was an update, I still felt like I was part of it, which
Right.
which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's one of the. It just feels like this is like a true family.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like we're our own little family. And we care about what the people in this family are going through or what they're doing, and we like to cut up and act up, and that's just part of us. It's like we have like little personal jokes here that only us would understand, and all of our other Facebook friends have been just looking at our posts like, what in the crap are they talking about? Why are they putting fart jokes on here and laughing about them? And that kind of thing, like Chris and, and Troy will post all the time, and I'll
Speaking
get
of
tagged
which,
in.
when you and Lisa and Noelle stayed in the hotel, did you all stay in the same bed?
No, not at the same time.
Are you kidding me? Because just think,
We were going to do that for a photo op, and then it just seemed like we got to doing other things, and we really weren't in the room as much as that much.
see,
Really,
you
we were
could you
there
could
pretty
put
much to sleep.
you guys could put Noelle right there in the middle, and you could both pull the
I know we missed the
blanket up
perfect
and Dutch oven her.
opportunity. We missed the perfect opportunity for that.
You could have
We did.
Dutch oven her.
Oh, she would have loved that, I'm sure. She probably would have Dutch ovened us. Yeah, she probably would have got us. We were gonna do that pie challenge too while we were there, and it just seemed like we ran out of time before it was time to leave. We weren't there as many days as we would have liked to have been. There were some people that were there days before us and days after us, but we really only had a few days that we could actually leave our families and actually go down there. And
Well,
unfortunately, I had to get back.
you can still do the pie challenge.
Oh, I know. It's still out there to do. We
Noelle's
really
done
wanted to
it.
do it all together. That was our original plan, was to do it while we were there together. And it just seemed like we just got crazy busy with filming. We were actually on set that first day that we filmed till late. It was late when we left there. We were there from early that morning. We were probably there over 12 hours. It was a long day because they did two different scenes. And then it just seemed like they did one half in one spot and then moved to another place and did another half. And the second half is the one that had a lot more um, people, like background people and stuff. And it was a lot to work with in a tiny space when it all worked out. But I thought it was still cool either way. But even though we were tired and starving and whatever, we were so excited to be there. It was just an amazing experience. Either way, I mean, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I'm waiting for her to put some other project out there because I'd definitely be involved in that. And she's so kind, Debbie is, because as a matter of fact, she had went to a convention in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And she messaged me as she was coming home, and she said, "How close are you to Monroe, Louisiana?" And I'm like, "I'm the next town." She said, "Well, I'm fixing to pass by." And so she said, "We're fixing to find a hotel." And she told me which hotel they were at, which was actually right across the interstate from my house. And so I got to go over there and meet her for the first time. And we sat in the lobby of the hotel and just sat there and chatted for a while until she was ready to go on to bed because they've been on the road all day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just an opportunity to meet. And I said, I was so excited that she even messaged me. She's like, "How close are you?" Because I'm in town. so, so it was so nice to meet her then. And I just, got an automatic bond with her.
Yep.
She's always so kind to everyone. And even when I did at one point get diagnosed with COVID, and
And you beat
she,
it.
yeah, and honestly, I'm not even 100% sure. It was a rapid test that said that, but my regular send off test said negative. So I'm honestly not sure that's even what it was. But either way, I still quarantined myself regardless, either
Mm-hmm.
way. But she was so concerned about me that she called me on the phone and she's like, "Oh, girl, are you taking this vitamin? Are you taking this vitamin? You need to make sure you're drinking plenty of water and this and that. And call me if you need me and things like that." I mean, no, I had friends here that didn't even do that. So the fact that she called me immediately as soon as she found out to check on me, make sure I was okay. And I mean, that's just kind of person she is. And so I just love her to death. And I will be happy to be part of any project that she comes out with, no matter what it is. I'm hoping now that after 13 Fanboy, she's going to stick more with the horror side of it. I mean, I'm not saying that her other stuff was, it's just a totally different genre, I guess you could say, like Catching Up and, which was kind of it was horror, but it was more kind of, I think, a horror comedy. And I'm hoping after she sees how good 13 Fanboy is going to be and everybody loves it so much, I'm sure that maybe she'll stick with the actual horror and, continue into that perspective. And I think this one's going to be awesome, though. I cannot wait to see it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh my gosh, I am too.
I been told that yeah, my picture's definitely in the movie. And then I was told it's a bit bloody, but it's there.
Oh, cool. I don't know where if it was with Tracy, then it wasn't. I wasn't there when it happened.
Oh, it would have been with Tracy because that's where I wanted it, and Debbie had told me that's where it was.
Yeah, I wasn't there when Tracy was, so I didn't get to see your picture there.
Yeah.
I know there was stuff set up in certain areas when they were filming, to incorporate, but I didn't really inspect everything, so
Mm-hmm.
they were so busy trying to get everything set up for the next scene or whatever, so I wasn't gonna get in nobody's way to go be nosy up and everything. Um, but I do love that she's tried to incorporate as much as she could into characters, and I actually have a character by my name in the film. There is a character with my name, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, Troy Elke's voice is going to be in it, so that's pretty cool.
He's got the voice for that, though. He's truly
Yeah, but
got
you
that.
need his face, that beard and.
I do like to transplant his picture onto other things. Have you noticed that? That he'll post a
I
picture of something,
love
and
Troy Elke.
I will Photoshop his face onto just about anything. Like he posted a picture of a priest the other day, and I Photoshopped his face on it.
He gets in
Anytime I
a.
see him post something, I'm like, I have a picture of him saved on my phone that's already been photoshopped out. So I just move that head to that picture. So it's the same picture. Anytime he posts something, I say, oh, his face would look good on that. I'll go into my photo editing thing and I'll put his face on that picture and I'll send it. He's the only one I do that for because I just know he loves just about all of them.
Oh, gee, yeah. Troy said I was the first one to interview him, and he's actually having me on his podcast, Jack Wagon Express, tomorrow night. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Debbie Sue was on last week, so I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do
Well, you're
that.
actually the first person that's ever interviewed me, so I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody's ever asked me before, so I'm kind of flattered that you did. I appreciate that.
Well, it's not that you were out of my mind on it. It's just that I get really booked, and
Yeah, you
especially.
you have a new one posted all the time, so I know you stay busy with them.
Well, like I also post them when they're have their anniversaries as well. So like
Yeah.
Peter and Bracky I've had on twice now from Crystal Lake Memories, and it was 4 years ago today, here in the 9th, that I interviewed him. So I put that interview up. So and I've had him on since again. So I always put them up there, so people can revisit them, and I've had a few guests that's passed away last short while that I gotta say I'm so happy that I got on when I did.
I'm glad you did too,
Yep.
because that's just something you're always going to remember that you got to speak to them, and
Yep.
it's always going
So.
to be a good memory to have
Mm-hmm.
back when they were healthy and well, and enjoy talking about their experiences and everything. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. But in terms of the pie challenge, that's for suicide and depression awareness. And I didn't start it, but it was something that, well, suicide and depression in particular is not taken seriously. And I pitched it out. Lisa Langwa did it, and Nancy McLaughlin from Jason Lives did it. And she had props from the movie behind her.
That's cool.
Yep.
I didn't see Nancy's. I saw where Ron and David did theirs.
Yep.
I think they did theirs while they were in New Mexico.
Did you see
Also,
Noellie's?
Trying to remember if I did see hers or not.
Yeah, her
I've slept
husband's
since then, so
pied her
Lord
in the
knows.
face.
That I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah.
One of the best ones I've seen was when I interviewed Sandy Johnson, and she did it, and her husband was dressed up like Michael Myers.
I love their pictures. They're
Yeah.
so fun. I bet they are hilarious to be together.
I'm set to have her on again. I love Sandy Johnson, but she did the challenge and she threw it out to PJ Souls, Felissa Rose, and Nick Castle. So I'm trying to get the industry involved. And I know that Adrienne King has been nominated 4 times. And I've already been told by Adam Marcus that if she hasn't done it by the time he does it, he's going to make her the 5th. Adrian told me she'd do it. It's just a matter of when, but she was the first Friday final girl. So I'm hoping that Adrian does it. I know that Debbie Sue's been nominated at least a couple of times. Tracy Savage said she'd do it, but she's going to wait till after the pandemic. Surprisingly, Judy Aronson, I was actually went after her on Cameo about it. And she said yes, but after the pandemic. And let's see who else. Oh, Vincent DeSanti and Andrew Leahy, they've been nominated. And Haley.
Those two were cool too. They were actually on set as well.
Haley Greenbauer's been nominated for sure by Jason Bradford. Yeah. And let me see. Lar Park Lincoln was nominated by Scotty McCoy. Melanie Kenneman told me she would do it from Part 5.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I just got my autograph picture in from her not too long ago.
I love Melanie. I've had her on a couple of times, and like Tracy Savage, she was one of those crushes. I didn't watch these movies for Jason. So much nice eye candy.
Right. I hate that there are a few out there that, really don't do, the cons or anything like that. Like Jennifer Cook, she's moved on to, her business now. And the tea. Isn't it the herbal tea?
Yeah.
That she does. Celestial Seasonings, I think. Or something like that. I think that's what their business is now, her and her husband, I think. And really doesn't do much in regards to like the Friday the 13th genres and the Comic-Cons and things like that. There's quite a few of them from different little movies that you really don't see much of anymore. Now they were interviewed, a lot of them were on Crystal Lake Memories, of course, and I'm glad they did those. But there are a few that, kind of got out of acting, I guess you could say, once they did these films, and I'd love to have seen some of them again, do other projects. I love Amy Steele, though.
I love Amy Steele. I haven't had her on here yet.
Yeah,
but I love that scene where she kicks Jason in the balls.
See, I loved her on April Fool's Day, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Amy.
Yeah. She it's pretty cool, I bet.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them that I would love to meet at some point. You don't see, usually pretty much at these conventions, you see pretty much the same ones that will go from, but you don't see a lot of the new ones. Like I think Tom and Darcy are going to be at Days of the Dead in a few weeks. That's
Is
gonna
he
be cool to
is
meet
is
them.
he going to show up with her in the RV?
I wonder. I don't know about that, but yeah,
She's
it's gonna be cool to
flopping
meet.
around in the back.
Yeah, I think Tom McLaughlin's supposed to be there too, and so is CJ, and I think Warrington and somebody else. I think. Trying to remember who else was supposed to be there, and then there's supposed to be a couple from I think Child's Play, and I think um, is it William Forsythe from Halloween?
Yeah,
That's his name. He's supposed to
Devil's
be there.
Rejects.
Yes, and Devil's
I got
Reject.
this from Nancy McLaughlin.
I was gonna order one. I'm hoping to do that. I told her, I said, you're gonna have to give me a little time on that one. I'd love to have it.
Yeah,
Yes, that would have been so cool. It was
yeah.
beautiful. It really was. Unfortunately, it was a bad time with the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic and everything, and I had just gotten off of a unpaid quarantine um, at the time. I'm like, it just really wasn't in my budget at the moment, but believe me, it's on my list of things
Oh,
I'd love to see
Nancy's
someday.
very, very easy to talk to. Nancy is
Yes.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
I followed, I think she has an Etsy page, and I started following it. So in case
Yeah.
she posts other items at some
Uh-huh.
point, that way I'll get a notification that she's posted something new. Because I know those pendants were on her Etsy page. And so I was leaving it there. I went ahead and followed it. So that way, in case she decided to make something different or make something new, that, give me some more options too. To make
Did you meet
come out with something even better.
Did you meet Deborah Sullivan?
She left like the day before we got there.
Yeah.
They had finished her scenes a little earlier than they had planned on it. So she went on back home, and we were so excited to meet her too. And
She's a cackle queen.
yes,
That's what I call her.
and she was so flippin' awesome in Secret Santa.
I know.
Oh my
I had
god.
her and Adam both on twice. Once they were on together.
Mm-hmm.
I should show
Adam
you
is
my
so
signed
funny.
hawk. Ted White signed this.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet him one day. I don't know how many more cons he'll be doing, at this point at 95, but he'd be awesome to meet, I bet.
Ted White was great. Yeah. But no, I'm also involved in Hearts of Darkness, the making of the Final Friday. Are you involved in that one?
I got some perks. I've got the matter of fact. Hold on.
You're going to show me some stuff.
1 second. I have that.
Oh,
There you go.
wow.
I have that hawk with Adam signed it. And I
Oh,
got the
that
hawk
looks
stand.
fantastic.
I love it.
And
It's
I
sitting right
thought
by my TV.
Noellie bought everything.
Well, she got the Freddie glove, I think. I don't know if she ever got it yet or hasn't gotten it yet. I'm not sure because I think whoever was making it, they had to. But I do have something extremely cool. Let me show you.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it turned around so you can actually see it. Look at this.
Where'd you get that?
I found it on Etsy. There's a person that makes these, and it's a old VHS tape.
You're going to have a hard time playing that.
Well, you won't be able to play this one. It lights up though on the inside.
Does it?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get it somewhere that it can actually light up. Excuse my dog beds for a minute.
Yep.
Well, dang it, I ain't got a thing. Oh yeah, dude. Hold on. Oh, if I can get it in there. There. See?
Oh man, that is cool.
See, it
Remember, be kind and rewind.
I think it's on there still. Hold on. Where's it at? No, it's not. They took it off. I thought that one was still on here. I have that one and my thing back up for I'll get back to it later. I got my husband this one because he's a super fan of They Live.
Oh, you know what? I have interviewed the son and daughter of Roddy Piper.
That's cool.
And I'm still in touch with his daughter, Ariel Teal Toombs. She goes by the
Hmm.
name Teal Piper in wrestling.
Oh, that's cool.
And also she did the Doubtfire Face challenge.
Okay, hold on a
Oh
second.
yeah, hers was pretty funny too.
So, I do have the this is the one I got at Texas Frightmare. It's just a
Who's
that's Kane. Well, actually, Kane was mad because CJ signed his spot. Um,
Oh well.
but I got CJ's first. It's the only reason why um it was like that. But yeah, he was. I did get this one from the Hearts of Darkness as well.
Oh wow.
That was that little pendant. I finally got a chain for it. I do have parts of it. I have that Victim No More pin.
Oh, I'm involved with that. I'm a co-producer
Yeah.
on that. I've got that pin too.
I have a few little things. I don't have as much as most people have, but
You got some
I thought it
cool
was so fun.
stuff though.
I loved the VHS tape. There's a lady on Etsy who makes them and sends them. She'll ship them to you, and she was fairly quick about it too. She had a bunch of horror ones.
How much are those?
I want to say this was like maybe $30,
Oh,
maybe.
really?
It was something like that. It really wasn't that pricey compared to how it is. My little axe was cracked a little bit, but she sent me a little bit of money back to buy something to kind of tack it back, I guess you could say. In shipping it, the axe kind of separated a little bit from the tape. But yeah, it really wasn't that bad. I want to say it was like 30 something. It was under 50, I know that. Um, but it has mine, the Friday 13th one has a remote and you can do different colors. It's like a different color light strip inside of it. I just didn't have the remote in front of me to change the color, but it has the remote that you can change to blue, green, whatever color you want to put in there, or you can have it set to where it flashes different colors on it. So I thought that was pretty cool, though. It's kind of a neat little idea. And, I'm all about anything Friday 13th pretty much anyway. Um, I even have my coffee mug, my Camp Crystal Lake coffee mug that I drink out of in the mornings.
I like all.
Especially
I always
even
like
my
the
local
girls on
friends have
Friday the 13th.
that. Mm. That's actually it's always been pretty much my favorite series
Hmm.
anyway.
What's your
With
favorite
Halloween
one?
6.
6 is great. I think it's the best one, but I think
I
part
love
4 is
6.
the scariest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm probably my least favorite of all of them is 8. Um
My least is Jason X, which I call the room of the franchise.
I I liked it okay as as one of the films, but something about 8 just made it kind of not. I guess it was the whole sewage and the thing at the end. I think kind of ruined it for me,
I
and the
agree
majority of
with
it being
you.
filmed on the ship. But either way, I mean, I if it's on one of these channels when I'm flipping through, I'm probably gonna stop and watch it. Either way,
I've
um,
interviewed 3 people from Jason Takes Manhattan, and they've all been great. But to me, Peter Mark Richmond, to me, is a standout in that movie. He actually makes the movie watchable for me. It's not a good
mhm,
movie, but I know his daughter Kelly was really great with me. He worked with Gary Cooper back in the day,
mhm.
and he was married to the same woman from since I don't know whether the 60s or the 50s. Still, they were still together. He just I would use the word gracious to describe him. He loved his family, and he died natural causes. It wasn't COVID or anything, so he was 93. So I was happy to see that he went peacefully, and I got
Yeah.
to talk to him
And
twice.
he had a funny, his interviews were funny during
Hmm.
Crystal Lake Memories, when he's talking about his scene, when he had to do the science project
Yep.
scene. He said, I let it affect me. It was so funny.
I
But I
yeah,
bet he was a hoot.
But to me, every scene he's in, I watch him because something's at least happening, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
He
Like,
was a jerk, but
yep,
he made it watchable.
yep. I liked him in it, you know? So, um, God
I
bless
do kind
him.
of agree with their cast change on the main character, though. The one that oh my gosh, I guess I don't watch it. Not Rennie's boyfriend,
Yeah,
the original one.
yep.
When we watched those scenes where he had filmed those scenes, I can kind of tell why they probably. And I'm sure he's a great guy and everything, but I could
Hmm.
kind of tell it. It may have been his first acting job, and that may have been why. It could have been nerves getting the best of him, and I probably would have been probably even worse than that, to be honest with you, if I had to speak and roll anything right now.
No worse
But
than me, so hey.
right. Um, but I'm excited about all these new projects coming out, and I just wish I had unlimited funds to help them all. I
You
really
know
do.
what? And Noellie's had this problem too. Noellie, I think is better off than me. I work as a cleaner. That's how I make my money. I been working through the pandemic. I don't make, despite what people might think, I don't make money at this podcast. I do this because I enjoy it. You
Hmm.
know, I just have fun doing this. This is something that while I'm cleaning, I can think about the connections here, the connections there, and
Right.
it's I'm getting very, very annoyed with people adding me on Facebook and then immediately pitching their project to me. And it's happening a lot. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. The last one I pitched him on was The Dead End.
Hmm.
And Noellie's involved in that. That was the last one I contributed to. And it's like, I got to pull back because I got to be able to live. I need to be able to pay my rent, uh,
Right.
my groceries, my gas for my car, my feed my cat. You know,
Feed yourself too.
feed
Yes.
myself. It's and
Yeah.
I mean all the
I
best.
get I get messages all the time too for um and I don't mind sharing them if they ask me to share something. I'm like, I don't mind sharing it. The chances of me sharing it and any of my friends really, beside that's not in like Deborah's group or whatever, are probably slim. That
Hmm.
anybody that I know, I may have somebody that might share it too, but unfortunately, most of the people that I know, you know, in my real life, I guess you could say, aren't really horror fans or anything
Hmm.
like that. And they probably don't understand half the things that I post in regards to these movies or whatever. But, and I don't mind helping when I can. I can't do it as much as I would like
Hmm.
to because, my twin girls both have cerebral palsy, and they're both nonverbal, and they're both in wheelchairs, and so they have a lot of medical things that pop up, and there'll be times where I have to take care of them,
Hmm.
and I don't have unlimited resources to be able to contribute to all these things like some of these
Yeah.
other ones can. Some people can just pop out, so, a lot of times the associate producer ones they're pretty much spread out. I'll pick up one that may be a some special deal, when like a Black Friday sale or something like that, where they'll say on this day you can get an associate producer credit for like $100 or something like that, and I'll be like, okay, I might can spread a little bit right there, but I can't really, do a lot, unfortunately, like the big ones, like the lowest producer credit would be like $500. I'm like, I just can't do those. I really can't.
No.
I don't mind popping in a $10 or something, for some little thank you or whatever. Um, but and I don't mind sharing it if you ask me to.
Well, 13 Fanboy, I got co-producer on that when it was in the three digits. It's not in the three
Yes.
digits anymore.
Right. And that's why I didn't get to move up to co, because by the time I was going to upgrade to co, it had moved up to the four digits. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
I was going to, put in my other 250 or whatever. Because at the time, I think co producer was 500, I think, at the
Hmm.
time. And I was going to throw in my next 250 and do the co. And I went on there to do it. And I saw it was like 1,500 or something like that. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I
but
wish I
I did.
could. Believe
Uh,
me, I would love to in a heartbeat. But I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't have a problem with that. I did contribute to it. I got to go experience the whole um movie making set and
mm-hmm.
all that. And that's something I'll always remember. Either way. And I mean, I'm not like Noellie. I don't get asked to do all these projects and stuff.
If
I'm
you
not really I
just
guess
had
what you
an
call an
extra,
actor.
if you just had an extra $5, though, CJ would have rang that bell.
I know. I didn't want to be responsible for that because we would have like all left him in there and took off. Left him alone to take the wrath of Deborah because he was on his own on that one. I was not gonna take that rap for sure.
But we're
um,
both part of 13 Fanboy, and we're both part of
yes,
Hearts of Darkness. I'm the one who's always telling Adam to give cheek pinches to Allie,
right.
because that's fun.
I'll be so glad when they can get back together again and do their videos. I always enjoyed their lives.
I don't know. I love poking and prodding at Allie Rivera. And I'm going to tell you, I did not know who she was until Adam started doing these videos with her, and
Right.
she's got such an infectious personality.
She really does. She really does. I would love to meet them both one day. And I've always told Adam and Deborah too. I'd love to meet both of them as well.
I
I
call her
can
the
imagine.
cackle queen.
Yes. I'm sure Adam is such a fun guy to be around. I mean,
Yeah,
just watching his live videos, I mean, I would just love to hang out with him for an afternoon and just talk. I mean, because people give, you know, eight, I mean, sorry, nine, such crap about it.
yeah,
But to me, he did what he is. He just went out on a limb and wanted to do something different. And he did.
yeah.
He said he was wanting to do something and he done it. And that I think I give him total credit for that. And I do not think that that one's one of the worst ones either.
I don't either, to be frank.
I like Jason Goes to Hell. I like it. I would never have been a part of Hearts of Darkness if I didn't like the movie. And people give that movie such shit all the time.
Yep.
And I hate it though, because I really do. And there's other ones that were way worse than that one.
Jason X.
I I kind of like Jason X in a way because
Oh,
it was not that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great movie by no means, but I don't know the futuristic things kind of. But you
I
know what?
like.
I actually have a funny story about Jason X.
Okay.
I didn't get to see it at the movie theater like when it came out.
Uh-huh.
So when it came out on DVD, I rented it. And I was watching it and everything was in black and white. And I was like, this is weird. I don't remember this movie being in black and white, but I watched the entire movie in black and white. Come to find out, I had something wrong with my DVD player. It wasn't the movie in black and white. My DVD player was making everything in black and white. And so I watched it for the first time ever completely in black and white. So half the things I couldn't even see them because half the stuff in there was dark. And I'm
I could
like,
have watched that. I could have
this
watched
is
that on a blank
terrible.
screen and saw more story. Although I
I
got to
was
admit,
like,
I liked Lisa Ryder as the android. I did like her.
yes, she did very well in that.
Yeah, I
I
liked
mean,
her.
she was very android like anyway, just by her movements and the way she talked and stuff. I mean, and Janessa, she kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but that's just her personality. Um,
And I've had some issues with part 7 regarding the character of Nick. Get rid of him. When Alice is in the original, she's completely isolated. You know what she could have done with telekinesis? Here's
mhm,
here's a question for you. Here's a question for you.
mhm,
In Jason Lives at the beginning of it,
mhm.
you got Tommy Jarvis showing up there with Haas,
Horse, Horseshack.
Horshack, showing up there to dig the grave.
Mhm,
Now, when Horshack hits Jason across the back of the head with the shovel, what does
mhm.
Jason do?
Turn around, pulls his heart out.
Yep, punches his heart right out through him with his heart in his hand.
Hearts
Okay,
of darkness, baby.
hold that thought, because this is one of the reasons I hate part 7.
Hmm.
Nick, and I got nothing against the actor, but he ruined the movie for me. He ruined the movie for me. And I'll tell you why. They kept keeping him alive. I would have preferred they kept Melissa alive over him, to be frank. Melissa was a bitchy girl.
Hmm.
But Nick annoyed the hell out of me. He didn't need to be there, whether it's his cousin's birthday or not. He was just written in as a love interest. But
Right.
here's the thing. There was this screenwriter constantly was keeping him alive. There was 2 incidents where he is slammed against a wall and knocked out. And
Yes.
I wish Jason had have just kept his foot going through him. But the worst, and even anything in Jason X, if I could mention a worse scene in this entire franchise, it happens in part 7. The scene where they're on the dock and he grabs Tina and tosses her aside. He starts firing shots into him. Jason bats the gun out of his hand and shoves him into the fucking canoe.
And then
Haas
that's
could
it.
have been so fucking lucky.
And he was the first love interest to survive in the series.
I didn't like that. I did not like that. I thought it was out of character for Jason.
They could have left Paul alive if they were going to do that.
You know what? I think it was Paul's eyeball that Abel had in part 3.
I bet it was.
I think so. I don't think Paul survived. A lot of people debate it, but I think that he says there's other parts of the body. I think Paul was strung all over that. And Al and Adrian King likes to deny that Alice actually died, but you can see her corpse in the cabin.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately,
with the screwdriver
yep,
going right there. And even
yep.
that picture, somebody posted a behind the scene picture the other day, with Amy still sitting there beside
Hmm.
the skeleton, and they were trying to adjust the screwdriver in that skeleton's head.
I wouldn't mind. Actually, hold that thought, okay?
Okay.
I gotta go back to part 7 though before we do.
Hmm.
There was some stuff in part 7 I liked. I like Larry Park Lincoln, but I would have liked it if she was a final girl. And quite frankly, they should have ended that movie instead of Zombie Dad coming up out of the lake. I mean, you talk about part 8 having a stupid ending. Well, we had 2 stupid endings in a row. Why not end it with the house collapsing on them and blowing up? And then have them taken out on the ambulance, preferably Tina, and then
Without Nick.
come back and have his hand like burst through the roofing or whatever on the ground.
The rubble on the ground.
Yeah, like why not go with that?
Yeah.
You know?
The and even they, I guess when they had done the dad was originally supposed to look like he had been underwater for so long, and then
Hmm.
they went back and changed it, and he just looked like he was just a little dirty. That didn't make a lot of sense anyway.
Well, you know what? That was one of the people. That wasn't even John Carl Beegler's fault. He got hassled badly by somebody. I don't know whether associated with the studio or whatnot,
It
but
was that
some.
chick, that um oh gosh, they said her name on Crystal Lake Memories. They said
Yeah,
that's the one who didn't want everything, and she wasn't even a horror fan at all. Um,
actually,
I can't
you know
remember her
what's
name.
funny? I don't know why Ronnie Yu was brought in to direct Jason or Freddy versus Jason.
Hmm. I
Why?
actually agree with Kane when he said that you bring in someone to direct both the best movie of both series, and he doesn't even he's never even seen either series
He
at
watched
all.
Elm Street 1, which I get, and he watched Friday the 13th Part 1. What did he get out of Friday the 13th Part 1?
Not a thing for
Not a thing.
Jason.
You might as well watch an episode of My Little Fucking Pony.
Right.
And
You got just as much information about Jason.
I mean, you got Jason afraid of water. I'm sorry. Part 4, Part 6, Part 7, Part 8. Ronnie, you do your homework. And the studio got him in because he did Bride of Chucky. Or not Bride of Chucky. Yeah. Bride of Chucky.
And I
I'm like,
really, that'd have been the last thing. I mean, this that movie was about ignorant anyway. Um, those dolls just look stupid.
but I love that they brought Jennifer Tilly in. I got to admit,
Yeah, now Jennifer
yeah,
Tilly's cool, but
yeah.
it's just something about the way the whole plot, and of course
But
I've heard
still,
Katherine Heigl's hard to work with anyway. But
yeah,
I think
yep,
everybody's heard that one.
yep. But here's the thing: why not hire somebody, Vincent DeSante, who's Never Hike Alone, is better than a lot of the Friday the 13th films.
Right. No, that's an awesome movie right there.
Yep,
I still have to watch the snow one though.
it's
I haven't
good.
seen that one yet. I have seen Never Hike Alone quite a few times.
He's going to do three more, and they're supposed to connect to make one.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yep. You did hear
I
that
like how
they,
he brought Tom Matthews into it.
well, he brings somebody else into the snow one.
Does he? I have not. Well, I gotta go watch the snow one now.
Well, it's online. Go check it out. But yeah, he
It's
brings
still is
another.
it still on YouTube?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
have to go
check it
find
out
it.
because there's another familiar face that he brings into it.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to. I do like how Tommy Jarvis showed up at the end of the original. Um, that was pretty cool.
Well, Tommy
The,
Jarvis is in this one, and another familiar face that they brought into this. So yeah, check it out.
yes,
But
I'm gonna have to watch that one. Yeah, there's
Ronnie,
been a few of them that's come out that's gotten a lot of flack, and that got a lot of hype, and then it just didn't turn out as like everybody was hoping it would turn out. There's been a few movies that's come out, but I mean that one, Vincent's movies have been, a lot of hype, and they turn out being just as good as the hype said it was going to be. But there's been other ones that's come out that it was hyped up, hyped up, hyped up, hyped up, and then it came out and everybody was kind of like, that.
well, apparently Tom McLaughlin, when the stupid lawsuit gets settled, Tom McLaughlin has a script all ready to shoot, and it has Jason in the snow. And Tom McLaughlin directed the sixth one, so I'm like,
That's like the best one.
yes, yes. He's so. I really hope Tom gets to do that.
I wish they would hurry up and settle this lawsuit so we can get some more movies out.
Well, I've had Victor Miller on my show twice, and I'm planning on having him on again. Victor's a great guy. I can't speak for Sean.
I'm Team
Um,
Victor anyway.
yeah, yeah, but Victor's a great guy. But going back to the Alice in the Shack thing, I often wondered, personally, if they were going to do something more with the series, and Dave McCrae from Dave McCrae Live mentioned this out of Toronto, and I agree with him. I would love to see a backstory to Mrs. Voorhees. And you know what? They could segue that into what happened between the 5 years between parts one and two, because Alice gets killed off 2 months after.
After part one,
Yep.
basically. And then it's like 5 years later, isn't it, before part
Because
two?
I gotta wonder, was there any other bodies in that shack? I know at the end of the second movie, you got the cop and you got Kirsten Baker laying in there.
Yeah, I saw her. Because you can see the pink T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back and look and see if you can see any other bodies up in there. Um, was any of them missing from part one? Would he have? Well, no,
No.
he wouldn't have moved. He wouldn't have moved any of those.
Can you imagine how sad that is? Alice once has a chance, thinking she's going to leave, and Steve Christie talks her into staying, having no idea that she's going to go through this horrific event, and then 2 months later, she's going to disappear, and for 5 years, nobody's going to know where she is. Can you imagine how hard that would be for a family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you imagine how I don't know, like the families of all the victims, really. Like how do you explain that some mass murderer you sent your child to camp to be a counselor and they die. they But
Yeah.
yeah, but Alice disappearing, that was the. I
But
think
I
to this day she still says that wasn't her, but
oh
it was
yeah.
too much. It was too much of a coincidence to have that not be the case. And after 5 years, she would have looked like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely
Yeah.
her. That's definitely her.
I know
Yeah.
deep in her heart that she just did not want it to be her. So I can understand that though, because she didn't like the way that they killed her off to start with.
Hmm.
Anyway, but and I mean I can see that too, and she told me how she ad libbed everything that she did in part two.
Well, I heard she's gonna put out a line of clothes for green overalls and turtlenecks.
Really. I've been wanting to buy a bottle of her wine though.
You know what? We can't get it here.
I really about crossing
Yeah.
the lines, the country
But I
lines.
did but I did get the script sent to me from her though.
Yes, I got the script too. That's
Yep.
another thing I got too. I like that. It was pretty cool.
Now if we can just get her to do the Doubtfire Face challenge, I'd be all set.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on a script like that for each one of them.
Yeah. Well,
Wish
Amy
somebody else.
Steele apparently has the original part 3 script that she was supposed to be in.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
She kind of wishes. I bet she wishes now she'd done 3. Of course, it would have been totally different than the 3 we got, probably.
Well, I wish, here's the thing with part 3. I got nothing against Dana Kimmel,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, they missed an opportunity. They should have, number one, again, crush on Tracy Savage, so I'm biased here, but they should have made Debbie the final girl because she was pregnant. And Tracy and I talked about the fact that screenwriter just kind of forgot that. Notice the body counts, they never mentioned
Right. And then when she's in the shower, she says she wants a beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're pregnant. You're not supposed to be drinking beer.
But that was an opportunity there. Imagine a pregnant woman having to survive it.
Yeah, that was the only time it was ever mentioned was in the van on the way.
Yeah.
And then it never was mentioned again.
And plus, if you watch carefully, she's the only one that does not bitch at Shelley.
Yeah, she didn't really carry the way, I don't think.
Nope.
Yeah.
Everybody else seemed to lay into him. So it's like, I don't know. She was the one person out of that group. If I was to hang out with one, it'd be her, because of course, I probably related more to Shelley, but it's like when a woman comes out of the house and says, "You're Shelley," it's like, really, you want to spend your weekend with that? Trying to, it's, I
Right.
don't know,
I
but
don't know, but he was fun. He might have been goofy, but at
yeah,
least you're gonna laugh at some point.
yep, yeah. But yeah, we're both involved with Hearts of Darkness and
Mhm.
the Making of the Final Friday and
Look,
Victim No
looking
More.
forward to that as well.
What part do you have for Victim No More?
I I don't. I think it was a thank you and something else. I think, but it wasn't a producer credit for that one.
So you don't know all the details on that one.
I cannot remember what I have now. I've
I'll
got
say
quite
this,
a
I
few.
signed an NDA, so I'm not allowed to go into details on it. But
Right.
I'm going to tell you, Bobby Heckman has got some people that's going to be in this. It's going to be excellent. And that's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm.
I try to catch him here and there when I see him posting updates
Hmm.
on it. But I'm trying to think, what was it? Is it Indiegogo? I'm just gonna see what it is. I have to go back sometimes because I can't remember half the time which perk I got for what movie.
I
Um,
don't even know what comes with the perks. I don't know what I'm supposed to get from 13 Fanboy. I
you
did get.
actually can. You're supposed to be able to go on into your profile and it'll show all the things that you've contributed to. And I think if you click on it, it's supposed to show which perks it was listed underneath.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
how I have to figure out what I'm supposed to be getting too.
oh, I
Um,
didn't know you could do that.
right. Yeah, I
So,
didn't.
So where do I find my name on there? I could find it on the Indiegogo.
Um, yes, is
Okay.
let's see. Let me see. Hopefully, this thing remembers my password.
If
I know it's on my phone, but I'm using my phone, so I don't. I was trying to see.
yeah, because I haven't got anything from 13 Fanboy, but that's fine. I don't expect
There it
anything
is.
yet. I got a few things from Hearts of Darkness, and I got a big load of
Yeah.
things. Actually, I got a couple caps here from Victim No More. I got a beanie from Victim No More, which I don't have on, but
I think I got a poster.
yeah, I got a
I've got
poster.
a poster in that pin. Let's see. Let me go back to Victim No More and let me see what it says here for it. I remember I got the thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just a thank you. I don't think that one had any. Yeah, that was when I got the pin. It was the thanks on social media and the enamel pin. That was that one. I could have swore I did one other one for them though too. Let's see.
Okay.
Um, where is it at? Next,
Hmm. I don't know.
looking through here. Um, I've contributed to So Sinking Many. My very first contribution ever was, of course, to 13 Fanboy. That was the very first one. I got the stalking stuffer, and then the what they call the sociopath, which was the associate producer, and then I got the pendant pal with Hearts of Darkness, the chrome mask, the hawk stand, um, and then most of the other ones have been like oh, I got the Blu-ray of Victim No More also.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When
I've gotten
that's
a couple of them where I'm supposed to have a face in the movie and stuff, but I've like never heard from anybody on that. So, like, I was supposed to have my face in the movie in Strix. I hadn't heard nothing from no one on that one, and I think Reunion from Hell. I think that one too. And that's supposed to be a
Reunion
missing
from
person.
Hell was one I had to pull away from.
Yeah, I hadn't really I didn't contribute a whole lot to that one.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be a missing person in Shriek Show, and I hadn't heard from nobody on that one either.
Yeah, I'm starting now, unless I know who the people are, like with Bobby Heckman, Debbie Suvorhees,
Mhm.
Adam Marcus. I think I'll be avoiding contributing because there's a lot of these that end up falling by the wayside and people end up losing money. And
Right.
yeah, I did contribute to Social Distance, which Noellie is part of, and Vernon Wells in it, who I met. So, and I'm also
Mm.
part Z Dead End as well. What other projects do you get your name on?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Is my IMDb, and yeah, because I've contributed to some that wasn't through Indiegogo. Also, let's see. Um,
Yep.
okay. Let me search my name. That'd be easier just to do that. Than trying to log in. Yep, there it is right there. Let's see. Let's see my movies.
I only got a few. I am cameoed in 9 James Balsamo movies.
It says that I just got a thanks credit on Reunion from Hell. Um, I'm listed in the art department and producer for and actress actually for 13 Fanboy. Missing person listed for Shriek Show. And then I have producer credits for Hallows Eve, Stranded, Massacre Academy, Blood Prison, um, Bloody Summer Camp, Tales from the Dead Zone, and Nest of Vampires.
I think Nest of Vampires, I think Troy Elke's involved with that one.
That is Chris. My brain's blanking.
Chris Norris.
One Chris Norris as he's over in the UK. That's the one that's doing Nest of Vampires.
And then there's, of course, Massacre Academy. I'm not involved in that, but I know that Noellie is
Yeah,
as
she
in
wouldn't
that.
film. I was supposed to go and film, but like I said, I couldn't get off work because it was filmed the week before Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
and so I couldn't really go to that one. Um, let's see, Nest of Vampires. That is oh gosh, what's this? It's got Sean Phillips in it. Um, Chris Sanders. I knew
Okay.
my brain was blanking. I knew Chris, but my brain was blanking on the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, he's pretty cool. He usually messages me and say, "Hey, I got another campaign coming up," and I've get associate producer credits from him on those. I think the only one I think I got executive on Massacre Academy. Um, and me and Jason actually were supposed to both go film that same time. Noellie did as well, and he was in the process of buying his house right then and couldn't leave, and then I couldn't get off work, so I didn't get to go either. But I know that Spring, that's another person that was at with us at 13 Fanboy. She is ultimate cool.
Here's a
Uh,
question. When you were on 13 Fanboy, did you get to witness any of the kills? And you don't have to give any
no,
spoilers.
no, actually, I did not.
Okay. Because I know
None,
Nora
none of the
Hewitt from.
scenes that I was involved in involved any of that. So no,
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
do that. There was something going to be filmed, but I didn't know who was involved in it. I just knew that they had another scene to film while after we left, but I didn't know what was involved in it. So I did not get to witness it, even though that would have been cool, very cool. But the one that was doing the makeup effects, she wasn't
Nora
there.
Hewitt.
Yeah, she
Okay.
wasn't there when I was there. So
Okay.
obviously, whatever they were filming with graphic stuff, they had already filmed, I guess, um, at that point for the projects, I guess that she needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
they must have already had filmed what she had to work on, or that, or she came back after I left, which is possible too. They were still doing some stuff after we were gone, so it's possible she came back and did some other stuff. But I think Dee left right after we did, or right the same day we did, or something, because she had finished filming everything she had to film as well.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
want to say her daughter showed up at the end, Gabby.
Okay.
I didn't really get to meet her though, but like I said, Dee was so cool. It was so nice to meet her. I remember her from ET and Cujo, and I was
Yeah.
always a fan back in the day. And then I enjoyed her character on. Not many people care for Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I liked her character. You know,
Yeah.
she's just pretty cool in whatever she's in. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, to be frank, it was kind of different, and a lot of people don't like Zombies version, but I didn't mind Zombies version. Now I can't say the same for part two, but I did. I mean, part one wasn't that bad. I thought the end kind of drug out a little bit, but
It wasn't that
with it,
bad. Wasn't that good?
yeah. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not the greatest either. It's just kind of in the center. I would watch it. I
It
don't have
was
a problem.
it was better than Halloween Resurrection. I'll give it that.
uh, that one was kind of bad, but
Kinda.
but I've watched it numerous times too. I'll say it all day long, but I will say out of the Halloween series, the producer's cut of part 6
Hmm.
is the best one.
I'd like to see the producer's cut. I saw part 6 when it came out in theaters.
Yeah, there was a couple scenes that were different. Um, and it kind of went into detail a little bit different.
Hmm.
And I think I bought mine on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I want to say I just bought the Blu-ray. I think it's Blu-ray. Um, I didn't care for the original one. The whole um with Jamie Lloyd and all that stuff. That was kind of weird. But
Yeah, I wish they had Daniel Harris back. I had nothing against JC Brandy, but
mhm.
they kind of lowballed Daniel Harris from what I heard for in terms of
Yeah, they didn't want
price.
to pay her anything.
It's like put your shit away. You want to make a good film, but you get all these cooks in the kitchen, and that's a problem.
Right.
Yep. And that was why Adam Marcus made Secret Santa with skeleton crews, so he could avoid all the cooks in the kitchen. Which is, and frankly, I think Secret Santa was better than 90% of the horror films I'm seeing in theater now.
Right. And there hasn't been nothing good lately.
The
That
theater's
is
open where you are?
There is one theater in
Mm-hmm.
town. They actually we had two Cinemark theaters. One like over here, it's named Tinseltown, and it's like 15, 20 screen theater. It's like the
Ooh,
biggest one around here.
nice.
And then there's one over across the river into the other town, which is also Cinemark, but it's like 10 theater, a 10 screen theater, and it's inside of a mall. But they actually have that one closed right now. The one over here is the only one that's open, and right now they're really not playing, but gosh, 5 or 6 movies, and then some flashback movies. Like I went and saw the original Friday 13th around Halloween. They had it the original Halloween. Original Friday 13th playing at the theater, of there as a flashback movie. So I
You
went
know
and watched.
what? During our quarantine, they played a lot of flashback movies. They played
We're
Empire
still playing
Strikes
ours.
Back. They played Jaws. They played A Nightmare on Elm Street at
They played
Halloween.
that one there too, at Nightmare on Elm Street also.
Although
But
I'll
I didn't
say,
make it to that one.
when I was in Toronto in 2019 for Horrorama, I attended a very active crowd screening of Jason Lives. That's the one you want to see with an audience.
Well, you hear that CJ is going to the gas station, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, um, next week, I think.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do a screening of Jason Lives there. He's going to be there for like 2 days, signing autographs and stuff. There was supposedly some convention
Mm-hmm.
that got canceled, but he's still doing the gas station thing, and he's going to be there for a couple of days, signing autographs and stuff. And then he's going to do the screening of Jason Lives there.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to say it's next week because I've been seeing him posting about it. But he's going to be in Atlanta. Um, the Days of the Dead is the weekend, the 27th, I think.
Well, I hope
It's
that
the
they're
last
able to.
weekend of the month.
I hope they're able to do these conventions. Mine is not until October, so I'm hoping that by then
Yeah,
I'll be able to travel. So
right. And I think they canceled Frightmare again. I know there was one that Lisa planned on going to, I think in Bastrop, Texas. I can't remember which one it was, but they canceled it because she was going to take her kids to that one. Because her daughter, I think, really wanted to go to that one, and it's closer to home where she didn't have to really travel very far to go. And they canceled that one. And she usually goes to Texas Frightmare, but I think that either they canceled it or they haven't scheduled a new one yet. One of the two, because I've been doing a lot of Zoom. They've been doing a lot of Zoom things for Texas Frightmare, um, doing guests on that one. Having interviews and stuff
I
on
don't
Zoom
know how
calls.
that works. I saw one where Tori Wilson, the wrestler, did a virtual one, and that one actually looked good. It was very interactive.
Hmm.
People were able to talk to her. But I don't know. I kind of like to do selfie pictures with them, and you want to put your arm around them or whatever. I know that Lynn Laurie
Yeah.
from Shivers was a hugger, and I wasn't going to turn that away. And this pandemic is just. I want to. I don't want a plexiglass in front. It's like
Right.
I it's either gets back to normal or I just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know how all these conventions are going to be with all the mask wearing. And you go to want to take pictures with these people, and everybody's going to be wearing masks, and it's just going to be different. That's going to definitely
Yeah,
be
that's
different.
another thing too. Like, I'm not going to take a picture of somebody with their mask on. It's just fucking weird. You
So
know.
far, some of the guests for Atlanta's Days of the Dead is gonna be Joe Bob Briggs
Okay.
and Darcy, Patty Mullen from Frankenhooker,
Okay.
um, Felisa Rose,
Okay.
Alex Vincent, David Naughton,
Okay.
Tom Fridley, Susan Backlenny from Jaws,
Yep.
Tom Sizemore,
Mm-hmm.
Warrington, William Forsythe, Dave Sheridan, Carrie Henn, Sam Jones, CJ, Tom Matthews, Tom McLaughlin, Darcy DeMoss, and Tony Moran.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they say that they're supposed to be announcing some more people, but they haven't yet. But I mean, it's still a decent, and they're going to have other activities, I guess you could say, there, as well. And me and Lisa and I think Tony we all got our VIP.
Uh-huh.
So we get to go to an after party after the convention, I think Saturday night.
When I do
Um,
Horrorama, I always get the VIP as well.
this will be the first time I've ever gotten the VIP,
Mm-hmm.
um, for any convention. I didn't get it for Walker Stalker and I didn't get it for Texas Frightmare. Um, but I always went to these things with not, I didn't like with Walker Stalker, I didn't realize how much everything was going to cost. With all the autographs and stuff like that. You're going up to somebody and they want $30 to take a picture and sign an autograph. And, when back then I was on such a limited income that that's before I really went back to work again.
Mm-hmm.
And, because I spent like 4 years at home taking care of my girls. So I didn't go back to work until 2018, again. So that was before I went back to work. And so I was living off one income with my husband's work. And I just didn't feel right spending a whole bunch of money just to get somebody's signature, and having to explain to him because he don't get the whole genre thing. He's not a horror fan,
Uh-huh.
you know. But I did, speaking of that, my son, he is kind of, he actually went with me when Kane actually came to
Mm-hmm.
town here to a haunted attraction that comes every Halloween, that they open up every Halloween. And last year's, not this Halloween we just had, but the one before the pandemic, um, they had Kane Hodder come and signing autographs, and we were one of the first ones in line to see him. We actually got there before everybody else did. And when I walked in my 13 Fanboy shirt, he didn't notice that at first because it was cold that night and I had my jacket on,
Mm-hmm.
and I had my 13 Fanboy poster that Jason had made, and he sent me the link to it so I could print it off at like CVS or Walgreens or something. And I walked up there and I said, I have something for you to sign. I said, I can bet you that no one else is going to have this for you to sign tonight. And he was like, what in the world do you have? And I flipped over that 13 Fanboy poster and he's like, I can bet you will be the only one here tonight. And he sat there and he stared at that poster for the longest time. And he said, I just had the best time. He tried to give me, I think he gave me some spoilers. I don't know if he was intending to, but I mean, he didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but he kind of gave some of it away, I think. But I never like told everybody like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. Um, but
I didn't get spoilers, but I know at least two people that, I know a few people that are killed in the movie that, that just, I didn't ask about, it was just kind of leaked
mhm,
to me. But
right,
yeah, but
right.
I don't know who the 13 fanboy is or anything like that.
No,
So,
that part
no.
wasn't spoiled or nothing
Yeah.
like that. But he just sat there for the longest time, and I was telling him, I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be going to New Mexico. This is right before I went to New Mexico. I said, I'm gonna be going in January, and he said, well, I just got back from there, and he said I had a great time down there, and we had fun, and he said it's gonna be a good movie. You're gonna enjoy it. But he was so excited to sign my 13 Fanboy poster because he had not signed any 13 Fanboy posters, I think, at that point. But he was so excited to do it too. I said, I could bet you nobody's going to bring this in tonight. And I said, I could have kicked myself for not bringing an extra one and leaving it with him. But after I got there, I said, dang it. I said, it's too late now to go get one printed.
Yeah.
But I could have kicked myself in the butt for not bringing that extra one. So he could have taken it, with him to have too.
Yep.
But he was cool. So I've actually met him twice. I met him at Texas Frightmare, and then I met him again there. And then he loved the fact of talking about that movie. The rest of them were just coming in with their Jason mask and things like that to be signed. And here I come in there with my 13 Fanboy poster. And I was trying to push it to the people in line. I'm like, y'all gonna have to wait for it. He's gonna be in this one too. Yeah.
Well, I remember going to Horrorama it was in 2019. I went for 2 weeks because I wanted to enjoy Toronto a little more. But I told Debbie Sue that I was gonna have the tote bag and the T-shirt, and I said I was gonna promote the movie while I was there. And Kane Hodder got a lot of attention on this shirt, and so did Tom Matthews. So unfortunately, I had to leave the project, and Adrian King left the project. Neither one for disgruntled reasons, but
right. Things happen.
Mm-hmm. But I do hope I'm able to support the next one, and I guess we'll see. It depends on how well I can balance my budget.
I still wear my 13 Fanboy shirt with Tom Matthews on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'll wear it. I have that one with the big 13, and then is that the one with the pictures on the 13? I couldn't really tell which shirt you had on. It was hard to see it with the light.
Okay, just a second. I got a flashlight here.
Actually, I don't have that one. I have
There
the
you
other
go.
one that has the big 13. I know which one you're talking about.
But I
Yes.
do have that image on the tote bag as well.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get that one. I got the one with the big 1-3, and it had everybody's pictures on the 13 part. And then I have that newer one that I think Jason had done that had like the breaking glass, looking kind of like the one of the old Friday the 13th in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
have that one too on a shirt. And then the
Okay.
lanyard, Chris Norris sent me a lanyard. It said 13 Fanboy coming soon. And I think it one of those little rubber bracelets and stuff too.
Do you got any charities that you want to plug on here?
Well, I haven't here lately between all this stuff going on. I haven't really been involved in very many anymore. We used to do a local pageant for special needs children,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't been able to have that since all this pandemic stuff started. Um, I really, I, I don't really have one right at the moment
Would you
that I've been
consider
really involved.
Would you consider Troy Elke a special needs child?
Well, he's definitely special. That's for sure.
Oh, God bless him. Well,
No, he's funny though. He makes me laugh every day. Something
mm-hmm.
he's gonna post or something Chris posts is gonna make me laugh every day. I know if I open up Facebook, if I see anything by Troy, Chris, Lisa, I'm gonna laugh at least one time that day. No matter what kind of mood I'm in. I could be mad at the world and pissed off at everybody, but if I'm gonna see one of their posts, I'm probably gonna laugh. Because I'm gonna get chagged in some fart joke picture at some point. I'm sure people who look at my profile are like, what in the hell is going on?
Well, I get tagged in a lot of those as well, so I'm like,
I
yeah.
know, right? I'm sure my family members are like, what the shit is she getting tagged in here? What are they talking about farting for?
Well, if you
Goodness.
ever do the Doubtfire challenge, nominate 3 people from the industry. And if like anybody you worked with on 13 Fanboy or whatever that hasn't done it, We know Ron Sloan's done it, Dave Miller's done it, and Jason Bradford's done it. But
Mm-hmm.
anybody that hasn't done it yet, feel free
They're
to.
fair game.
Yep, yep,
Fair game.
yep,
Oh, absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely.
Noellie did do it.
Yeah. I've done that water one back in the day when they were doing the water challenge thing when they were
Uh-huh.
dumping the ice water. Oh my gosh. I thought I was gonna die. I was fine to that first drip of water hit me, and I was like, "Whoo, no, no." I think I can handle a pie much better than I can handle that freaking water. That water
Yeah.
was way too cold, and my husband had no problems dumping that on my head.
Well, I wouldn't recommend you do it during the pandemic, keep yourself safe. But when you get a chance, like when you do your nominations, go
Hmm.
after people that from the industry that you think would have an influence.
Yeah, didn't yeah, Troy did his, didn't he? Didn't he do it
Yep,
like
Troy did
as
it.
Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yeah.
pretty much? I thought that was him. I can't remember. Did Chris do one?
Chris is going to do one. He
I couldn't
hasn't
remember. I
yet.
remember Troy's though because he probably did the whole Mrs. Doubtfire thing
Mm-hmm.
down to the robe. Didn't he have the robe on too?
Yeah.
Ducked his head in the refrigerator and came back up with a hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Noellie did it, and I don't know who else did it. But there's been a number of people nominated, and I'm like, the more nominations I get, eventually.
Right.
Yep. But a
It's
lot
gonna
of
get
people,
around. This
but
whole situation here lately has just been, you know, it's
I
made
would
everybody's views do so much different.
I would recommend people not do it during the pandemic. Don't put yourself at risk. But when you get the chance, and that's when the pandemic is over, knock on wood, that's
I
when you
hope it's
do it.
soon. I'll
I
be
hope it's
glad.
soon. I hope it's soon.
Oh, I'll be so glad. 'Cause I'm about sick of it. I'm sick of working in it.
Yep.
Sick of working in it
Yep.
every weekend. I'm sick of wearing KN95 mask for 16 straight hours for 2 days a week because I've been sniffing and snorting all day long from wearing that mask all weekend.
You need to get a Troy Elke mask.
I do. I'd be afraid though I might scare my residents. So they'd be like, "What the hell?"
Where can people get hold of you? You got a website or anything like that you want to plug on
Um,
here?
I'm on Facebook. I signed up for TikTok, but I'm kind of like a I'm like an old grandma on TikTok. I just go watch videos. I don't post any of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm not coordinated enough to dance and act a fool. Not by myself anyway. I don't mind acting fool with other people, but not alone. Um, that's the only place I'm really ever active is on Facebook. Really,
Troy
I
is
do.
whenever he's not in trouble.
The only thing that I have been involved in, and it has nothing to do with horror actually, is I'm involved with a organization called Changing Places. What it is that we're trying to advocate for more handicap accessible restrooms in public
Okay.
places, like
Yes.
and not just having a stall, but we're talking like having a full size adult changing tables added to different, like some airports do have them. Other states have been able to get their legislators to write things up for getting those put in like airports and hospitals and places like that. And each state has their own like Facebook page, I guess you could say. And like I'm actually the administrator for Changing Places Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is it Places Spaces? My gosh, my brain is blank. And um, but we're just trying to advocate. I know other states have been able to get it done, and a lot of other countries are way more advanced than us in regards to getting those added to. That's really the only thing. But I haven't, with all this pandemic stuff going on, I hadn't really been able to make my focus on that right now. I really was trying to get it going, and then we were waiting for an election because we were needing to write to our local representatives and senators and all that stuff. And we were right in the middle of an election time, and we didn't even know who was going to be our next senator or representative or whatever.
Hmm.
And then the pandemic happened, and then our focus hadn't been as much on that as trying to stay well and keep my girls from getting this mess. But but other than that, that's pretty much the only thing I ever do is work, home, watch horror movies, and Facebook. That's my
It
life.
sounds like me.
That is pretty much all I do. And I mean, it's so bad that even my son's friends will come through here going, I think every time I come over here, there's a Friday 13th movie on TV. Um,
Yeah.
because I'll put them on when I'm cleaning house, or doing something around folding laundry, whatever. I'll throw one of them on the TV. Um, I'll either get it out my DVD or sometimes they actually are available on demand.
You mean to
Um,
tell me that you don't put the Troy Elke videos on there?
I don't have any Troy ones. He hasn't sent me any. Oh, you
I,
talking about? I do. Are you talking about like his YouTube videos and
holy
stuff?
cow, that guy's got way too much time on his hands.
Oh, I've watched most of them that popped up on my timeline. I'll see him being live at work or wherever he's at. He'll
Work,
have some.
work.
Yeah, whatever he does for work. I'm not even sure where he works at. But yeah, I try to watch everything and I try to support. I may not react to a lot of stuff, but sometimes I flip through and then something sidetracks me and I go do something else and then I'll try to go back and find it and then I can't remember who posted what and it's crazy. This whole situation here lately, my brain. I think I got COVID brain is what I think I got because I've got like a memory of a 80-year-old right now sometimes because I'll forget what I'm talking about and go on a tangent about something. And I'm like, what was I talking about again? I don't even know.
Anything else you want to plug on here before we close off?
Um, I can't think of anything else. I'm just ready for our movie to come out so we can, just hoping and praying that August is going to be good to us and we're going to be able to get that movie into theaters and we don't have to delay it no more.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's already been delayed once, and boy, it broke our hearts to hear that it was going to be delayed to August. But
Hmm.
I said if it means that it's going to be even better, that actually gives them a little bit more time to put a little bit more effort into it to make it even better than it already was. So hopefully, you know, and Riley's cool. I know he's been doing a lot of work with her. Um,
Riley is going to be coming on my show probably towards the end of this month or next.
yeah,
Yep.
Riley's a cool guy.
Yep.
And so is Jason
Hmm.
West. He's a cool guy too.
Yep.
He was there doing all that as well. We were talking about Lisa a minute ago. I just saw that she tried to message me on Messenger. She sends other memes to us, me and Noellie. We have a three private message group, just us three, and she sends us memes that she doesn't post on um Facebook. That may be a little inappropriate. So we get an extra laugh in Messenger as well,
I'll
because
have to reach out to Lisa Perez. I haven't had her on yet. Now,
she just did one not too long ago. She just posted one in the last few days that
mhm.
a podcast the interview she had done. I don't remember who she done it with. My brain's blanking on his name, of course, but she said it was her very first podcast as well.
Well, no, I don't think I was the first for Noellie. I was the first for you,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I'll have to see.
Nobody ever thinks about me. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Obviously, Lisa Perez does.
Yeah. She's sending more memes
There
because
you go.
all it said was Lisa Perez and it said sent 6 photos, which that means she's sending me 6 different memes.
Well, I'm I was supposed to have Noellie on here tonight, so I don't know what had happened, and I don't think it's like her to stand me up. So I'm hoping everything's
She was looking
okay.
forward to it because she had posted that. So I'm just hoping everything was all right at home.
Yeah.
no one of her kids weren't sick or something happened or she was sick or something like that. Because she's not one to just stand you up normally.
No,
There had
I've
to have
had
been a
her on
reason
before,
behind it.
so and she's involved in a lot of projects. I am. I know that I got set up here early for it, and I sent her the link. I waited. I called her, I think 3 times, no answer. I messaged her on Facebook. I even hinted about it on her Facebook page, although I did it in a humorous fashion,
Right,
because I don't want to give anybody the impression that this is deliberate. But I
right.
had to say my ass was getting awfully sore
I
sitting there waiting
imagine.
for her, you know.
I
But
imagine. But I'm
I'll,
sure it was. I'm sure it was something legit. I know she's not one to just blow you off. I know that
I'll
because she
have
would
her.
never have made that post the other day saying that she was looking forward to these things coming up,
Yeah.
and you were listed as her interview for tonight. So I know she was looking forward to it. So I know she would never just blown it off intentionally. That's for sure. I'm sure there was no malice behind it.
No, well,
I just hope
I'll
that
see what she
everybody's
says.
okay and there's not something wrong. You
Yeah.
know, because I know that she never would have done that intentionally. So
No,
I'm,
no.
I'm pretty
Well,
sure it
might
had to have
have to
been something.
might have to reschedule her. No big deal. But you come on in her place tonight.
Well, I hope your butt's not too sore from sitting here for this long now.
Well, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I do appreciate you asking me though. When you said that, I was like, wow, no, I don't mind. Let me make sure. And actually, it was perfect timing tonight because I've already put my girls to bed. So it's quiet now. And everybody else, my son was playing video games. My husband was in bed. My girls are in bed. So it was actually the perfect time anyway to do it. So it worked out in the end for sure.
Well,
I'm
I
not
saw
sure
you
what time
on.
zone you're on, but it's like, I don't know, it's 12:30 here. I'm not sure what time zone you're on.
It's it says 2:48.
Are you in the AM? 2:48 AM?
Yep.
Wow. Wow, I didn't know you was that far ahead.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, actually 2:41. I guess my alarm clock's early.
I got 12:36.
There
Hopefully
you
you don't
go.
have to go to work too early in the morning then.
Huh?
Hopefully you don't have to be at work too early in the morning
I
then.
work nights, but the
Um,
place I was supposed to be at is not set up for me to clean at yet. So they have me into major overtime, and so they just gave me a few days off. So I'm like, okay,
oh, enjoy it.
I'm
Enjoy it
going
while
to
you
enjoy
can.
it. My cat gets every day off. He's over there sleeping. He seems to have no problem doing it. My
Yeah,
kitty, my
neither
kitty.
neither does my dog. You see right there,
Yeah, there you
laying on the
go.
couch, laid up on the couch like a slug. Yep, that's all she does anyway. She
There you
lays
go.
around on anything she can find. You can leave a Walmart sack on the floor, she's gonna lay on it.
There you
She'll lay
go.
anywhere. She's like a cat. She gets up on top of the couch and lays. She's like a cat. Lays around, sleeps. That's all she does. But she's old though. She's like 8 years old now, so she ain't got no energy to do nothing except bark if somebody comes and knocks on the door. That's about the only time you really hear much out of her.
There you go. Well, it
But
was wonderful having you come on here tonight,
I
and
appreciate you asking.
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I love talking horror with people. I don't get that around very much, except for just my few people on Facebook. That's pretty much it. But it was actually nice talking to someone, you know, that shares the common interest, I guess you could say.
Well, I saw you on there, and I was like, well, I don't know what's going on with Noellie, but I always know there was the three of you hanging out, and I was like, you're up. So I
Yeah,
thought, see if
I'm
you're up and
awake.
around.
Yup, I'm up.
Hi, kitty.
Oh, how cute.
He's my buddy, Skittles.
Oh, what a
Skittles
cutie
is
pie.
Skittles is like, I didn't come over here for this. You exploit me like that.
How funny. Take off.
I got him by the tail.
Oh no. You gonna
Yeah,
turn around and
all I
bite
have to
you?
do is stick my pinky finger out, and he'll come over and he'll rub up against it. My cat will let me touch his tail. Some cats won't. My cat will let me touch his tail.
Yeah, I've met some mean cats before. I've seen some that don't do nothing, that just want that'll come rub your leg because it, and then you automatically want to reach down and pet, and they don't want you to pet them. They just want to rub your leg. You
There
know,
you go.
I had one friend one time that had a demon cat. I swear that cat had one eye, and it was mean as the devil, and only her and her roommate could touch that cat. It would come rub my leg, but God forbid I ever thought about petting that cat. She'd look at you and go, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna touch you.
Our
I
family's
promise.
never had a mean-spirited cat. Well, I guess I'm the cat whisperer.
I guess so.
I
I don't have a
guess.
cat. I just got this little ding dong over here on the couch that sleeps all the time.
Yeah.
And actually likes to, she'll sleep in the bed. And I had to go get her up this morning. I was like, you gotta get up. You sleeping way too late. I had to go get her out of bed like 10, 11 o'clock today. She's still laid up underneath the covers.
You could be the Noellie whisperer.
And then we talked for a while. It seems like everybody's gotten so busy here lately with all her projects and stuff. I hadn't really got a chance to talk to her as much as I was there for a little while.
Yeah, I had to
We've just
pull
been
back
so
on these,
busy.
but Noellie's got quite a few that's coming up. I know that.
Yeah, with
Yep.
all her filming and all her projects and stuff, and she hasn't had as much free time to do, a lot of chats and stuff anymore. We had a good chat one night. We did a Zoom call one night, just us three, a while back. That was fun.
Here's a question. For us, it's free. If we had a third person in there, is that still free or does it cost more?
Yeah, as long as they use the same Zoom call meeting. You can invite however many people you want. We've done I think Jason Bradford had a Zoom call thing. He posted in the group one time and said anybody wants to join, here's the Zoom call, you know, meeting ID and the password. And anybody who wanted to get on it, as long like who he started the Zoom call, so he would just have to approve them when they requested, I think,
But
or
isn't it
something
only
like that.
40 minutes?
I think it. Well, I think, but I want to say that you might can set the time, but I'm not real sure. I don't know if you could change it. I'm not real familiar with everything Zoom.
Because my interviews are really not that small.
Right, and
Because
you've actually had this one going way more than 40 minutes,
Oh, yep.
and it didn't stop anything unless it hadn't stopped recording, has it?
Nope. Still recording.
And I don't know if it's like that if it's a big group, um, but you can't always get all your Zoom calls in 40 minutes,
No.
especially if you have a big group.
That's
But
right.
I'm not sure if you can change the length of time or not. You didn't have to change anything, obviously, and maybe they changed it because so many more people are having to use it because of the pandemic, and a lot of classes are requiring, using it this way. So maybe they had to change the length time to, because a lot of classes are longer than 40 minutes. Um, so they won't lose their kids in the process of trying to do a lesson
There you go.
too. So it's
Yeah.
possible, but yeah, he's done group ones in there, and everybody had just joined in. You know, it would just show on his end that somebody was requesting to join in, and all he had to do was hit accept or whatever, and their face would pop up on the screen too.
Okay.
But it's been a while since he's done one of those. It's been a few
Yeah.
months, a couple months back, I think. He
Mm-hmm.
did them a couple times. And I know Vanessa's done a few with the Women of Heart
Mm-hmm.
um, stuff. But
Yeah.
are you gonna do anything with that new one that she's been talking about? That the
Right
anthology?
now I'm saying no, just because it's like I gotta wait. I gotta let because I'm kind of paying for this by myself. It's just a
Right.
small apartment, but
Mm-hmm.
as soon as my brother and my sister-in-law and myself can get a place, then maybe I might be able to look into something until then.
Right. I think the lowest associate producer I want to say was like 500. But I probably wouldn't be able to do that kind of contribution,
Hmm.
but maybe one of the lower levels, which there was one of them, I think it was a lower level that you could ask questions or ask a question that would be inserted into
Oh yeah, for Hearts
the
of
special
Darkness.
features.
Yeah, for Hearts of Darkness, I haven't sent my question in yet.
Well, you
So
might want to get on that. I think Noellie sent one in too.
yeah, yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, I think she got that perk. She got like every perk, I think.
she was on
Um,
there getting everything. Yes.
I told her, I said, "Girl, your credit card be burning up."
I don't know.
I
I
was
hope
just
I hope everything's fine with her, and maybe we'll reconnect and figure out
right.
what's going on.
Hopefully everything's okay. I hadn't heard from her in a little while,
Well,
but I
according
know
to her
she's been.
Facebook, it's been I think 9 hours since she was on there. So I'm like,
Yeah, the last post before you posted on there had been like 11 hours earlier. So I knew it'd been a minute. Well, at least right before when I saw your post, it had been 11 hours since she had posted. So it'd been a while since she had posted anything, and her being off of Facebook and not sharing stuff, that's not really like her anyway.
no.
So hopefully everybody's okay and nobody's hurt or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can hope for anyway. That all her kids are okay and she's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Well, it
I
was
do appreciate you asking me though.
Y'all. I appreciate having you on, and yeah, we will. I'll keep in touch with you on Facebook,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. We'll have to do this again sometime.
yeah, well, I can. Well, next year I'll put you on the list again. And cipher through and have people give me some updates.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And by then, hopefully 13th Fanboy will be out. So we'll maybe we'll be talking about part two then.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to get involved in
I'm
that.
just wondering who in the world could possibly be involved in part two. She had such cool ones for part one. You know, like how can you top that? You know, well, I'm
Well,
sure she could, but
she
you know,
lured me in with Tracy Savage. She might be able to lure me in with Melanie Kinnaman.
yeah, there's quite a few she could, inquire about. But she did get some good ones for the first one. So
She
yeah,
did.
just hopefully most of them live through the first one so they can be in the second one.
There you go.
I don't even know who lives or goes, but
I
hopefully
know
the
a
good,
few of them that go. I
yeah,
do know.
yeah, hopefully the good ones stay.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do appreciate it. I had fun. I love
Well,
talking horror anyway. I'm game for that anyway. So
there you go. Well, I'll get this out to you whenever it's ready, and
sure,
just be patient on that because I don't know when that will be because my
that's
brother
fine.
takes care of
No
the tech
worries.
side. But
No
until
worries at all.
yeah, until then, I bid you a good night. I thank you for coming
You
on here,
too.
and we look forward to 13 Fanboy.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thanks so
absolutely.
much.
God bless you. You have yourself a good night.
Great. You too.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.